Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time, I'd like to talk about that. What I'd like to talk about is being rich or becoming rich. So the title is Becoming and Being Rich People Must Have Purposes. And you can hear the noises coming from outside. Anyway, I think this is the siren of maybe a police car or stuff like that. So, this siren can be coming from ambulance or fire engine. Anyway, so please enjoy this episode, including this sound of siren. Anyway, so and maybe it's going away from the vicinity of this recording place. And so as I remember that I have told you that the title, or I have just told you the title of this episode. The title is, I'm going to tell you again, the title is Becoming and Being Rich People Must Have Purposes, and the conclusion is one of the solutions of being rich is freedom. So there are maybe fairly many. I think there are many, not many people. I think there are fairly many people who automatically want money. So what I'm telling you is that, so to start with, people can get satisfied without any money, which is a fundamental condition. So for example, money. Not for example. To start with, this is a confirmation. I'm telling you this for confirmation, but to start with, money is a tool for buying stuff, or showing the values of assets, or anyway, money is just a tool. So please make sure this one. And so, for example, which means, please imagine a situation in which, for example, you are in desert and you are rich, but you are in desert and there is nothing except for sand. So thinking about such a situation, and for example, please imagine that you are thirsty. For example, you are thirsty, really thirsty, and you are dying to drink something. You are dying to drink water, for example. Please, which is the situation I'd like you to imagine now. And in such a situation, money doesn't work, which means, so you may be a considerably rich, but actually, by just having money, or by just wearing really luxury clothes, there's nothing good in the situation of desert, or deserted place, or sterile place, or in balance, for example. Please imagine such a situation. And if you're thirsty, what you need is water. What you need is water, or something drinkable, or something to drink is what you need when you are thirsty. So likewise, to start with, money is a tool, and you do not to start with. So if you have some sufficient amount of money, which can afford to pay for medical fees or medical costs, for example. So I don't think it's necessary to earn more money, and because if you have already had sufficient amount of money to live on until die, you don't need any extra money, which is a condition. So which is why, so even becoming and being rich people must have purposes. For example, so maybe the largest cost comes from buying house, for example. This is just an example. So, but actually, so thinking, if you can satisfy yourselves by buying small houses, you don't need large amounts of money. And in other words, for example, not in other, there are some other words. For example, so some people love to eat, but actually, if you're not interested in eating itself, and for example, if you are a type who be satisfied only by eating one dish or one cuisine, for example. For example, for example, if you can satisfy yourselves only by eating, for example, cornflakes in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. So if you are such type of person, or if you are such type of people, only stuff you can eat is cornflakes, or only stuff necessary for your lives is cornflakes. So and that in the case of food, that's it. The end of the stories. So like which money is just a tool for buying things, or piling assets, or incrementing assets, or expanding your own businesses and assets. So in this phase, which is why in this phase I'd like to tell you the conclusion of this episode. The conclusion is, one of the solutions of being rich is freedom. So maybe I think freedom is freedom. I think freedom, it can be the highest, not the highest, or the most expensive one. I think freedom is the most expensive one you can buy with money. So of course you may say that Lamborghini can be the most expensive one, or houses can be most expensive goods or products money can afford to buy. But actually, so, and some people say that, some people may say that loves might be the most expensive ones, but actually I don't think it's possible to buy loves, or true loves, from other people. So to get loves, you do not need some amount of money can be needed, but actually, so you don't need large amount of money to buy loves. Loves are, or what are called true loves, are other things completely different from mundane things like Lamborghini, or luxury cars, or mansions, or houses. So thinking about which, I think the most expensive one you can buy, or you can purchase by paying money is freedom, which is what I have thought. And of course, I think there are many options, not options, but opinions. I think there are many opinions, but actually, so thinking about the price of freedom in this episode, freedom means, for example, so maybe if you are an office worker, you can understand, and if you are, for example, the president of if you are the president of a huge company, I think you can understand what I'm telling you, because so people have to work, and in the course of your own careers, you have to follow the orders of superior people. Like in the case of office workers, they have to follow the orders of bosses, and if you are the president of huge companies, you have to communicate with other people, and sometimes you may find sometimes those presidents may find as their people, like executives working for those presidents, which are those people, or which are their people I'm talking about. And sometimes the presidents find their people, their bosses, which means, of course those people are working for the presidents in which way. So those people have lower positions than the presidents, but actually, so the presidents have to decide all the stuff about the companies those presidents manage. In which sense, some presidents say that those presidents sometimes find their people, or their executives, or their their people having other positions their own bosses. Sometimes the president feels that they have bosses higher than themselves. Also the fact is that those presidents are on the highest positions in their companies. Like which, so in the even some rich people are tied to human relationships or the connections created by their own businesses, which is why freedom can be the most expensive stuff, and by getting such freedom, you do not have to be worried about such business connections or relationships. So thinking about which freedom can be the most expensive one. So coming back to the title of this episode, or the track of this episode, the title is becoming and being rich people must have purposes. So thinking about why you want to become rich, or why you want to be rich. So I think you should focus on, for example, getting freedom. So by doing which, so you can relieve yourself away from such, away from relationships restricting or binding yourselves. So by doing which, so in this episode, what I'd like you to recommend is that, so you should focus on freedom for becoming, as the purpose to become or to be rich people, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion again. The title is Becoming and Being Rich People Must Have Purposes, and the conclusion of this episode is one of the solutions of being rich is freedom. So this is the end of this episode. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.